what they would do is they would do really as a design professional, all we're doing is we're calculating the maximum and minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's it. And that was fine in the 1970s. That is not fine now. We need to figure out something else. And when I realized that at about 5 years in, I was like, no, I'm going to do triplex systems.
Sure.
And then I stepped away from the 1780 and I stepped to triplex systems, the 3500. And the way I started doing triplex systems, which now after listening to you and Sarah, I might even go quadplex systems.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is when I did my triplex systems, and this is the same sequence I did on condenser water as well as the chilled water. But what I did is I said, okay, if I was at 80% of my design condition,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that needs to be satisfied by one pump.
Okay.
No, by two pumps. Okay. If I was 100% of my design condition, I'm going to get there by all three.
Okay.
And then what I said is I went to the chiller minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In order to keep that going. And I wanted one pump to be at about 35% capacity at the chiller minimum.
Okay.
Okay. So it's there's not really redundancy there. And the old engineers, what they would do is they would go one, that does the chiller minimum barely, and it does, and you'll get to that peak and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a redundant one. And I didn't believe in that. What I figured was if you lost your pump and you're in Houston, Texas, I was like, all right, if you lose a pump and you need redundancy, my system would give you redundancy to about an 80% capacity instead of 100% capacity redundancy. But the controls and the selections I was giving you were really intended at a 50% duty point. But now I'm listening to Sarah and everything. I'm like, well, maybe I'm not as aggressive. I need to be more aggressive with that and focus more on like the 25 to 35%.
Yep.
And then I'm really doing something.